A very good afternoon. Thank you so much for tuning in to UBC Lunchtime News and of course the weekend edition. My name is Sharon Kyomugisha. A very warm welcome and I hope you're having a great day so far. In the course of the week, President Sharon Museveni asked public servants to be change agents and leaders of socio-economic transformation through wealth creation in the country. The president made these remarks during a closing of the 7-day retreat for ministers, permanent secretaries and National Resistance Movement Central Executive Committee at the National Leadership Institute, Chankwanzi.
President Museveni has presided over the closing ceremony of the 7-day retreat for ministers, permanent secretaries and members of the NRM-SEC at the National Leadership Institute, Chankwanzi.
Importantly, why I wanted you to come, especially the permanent secretaries, because the politicians have come here before, the members of parliament, the ministers, but I don't think the permanent secretaries have been here before, this area. Really, the message I want to insist is the issue of wealth creation in the homes.
Addressing the retreat, President Museveni called upon the ministers to be change agents in the socio-economic transformation drive.
I really don't know how we shall continue to talk about this endlessly, and people just running around, wasting time, talking nonsense.
Now in more stories, the Requiem Mass for the late UPDF officer Major Opio Patrick Awanyi was held at Holy Rosary Catholic Parish Church in Gulu City. The late Major Awanyi, who died in an Al-Shabaab ambush in Somalia early this week, will be laid to rest at his ancestral home in Woya district this Sunday, which happens to be today.
It was a somber moment as mourners gathered in Gulu for a requiem mass for the UPDF officer Major Opio Patrick Awanyi, who died in Somalia recently.
This system, that it is very expensive to be an enemy of God.
The NRM Secretary General Richard Odong referred to his late younger brother as one who diligently served God and humanity. Mechanized Brigade Commander Brigadier Charles Byanyima represented the CGF of Uganda, General Oscar Nirugaba, at the service that attracted hundreds of people.
On behalf of officers and members of UPDF fraternity, and on my own behalf, please accept our heartfelt condolence in this time of grief following the demise of our comrade, beloved son, with the Patrick Awanyi, which occurred on 7th July 2024 while in peacekeeping operation in Somalia. Also based improvising explosive.
Major Awanyi was described as a dedicated officer who served the army with diligence, as evidenced by his steady rise through the ranks.
The UPDF family extends its sympathy and condolences to the departed comrades' family, relatives, Major Patrick Opio joined the Defense Forces in 2001. He made selfless contribution in defense of his country throughout his service career.
Major Awanyi is renowned for his bravery in countless battles in Central African Republic, Eastern DRC, and most recently in Somalia, where he died serving under the African Transition Mission.
So he joined the army as a cadet officer on the 22nd October 2001 and was later commissioned the rank of second lieutenant in 2002. He took up a post at Nakasongola in line with his career in 2002-2003. He went for the platoon commander post in 2004-2005. That was at Kabamba. He did instructions course in 2005 as an instructor trained in handling military logistics.
Major Opio Patrick Awanyi will be laid to rest in Tangi Village, Porongo Sub-County in Nyoya District on Sunday 14th July 2024. Robert Onyango, UBC News.
In more stories, the Deputy Speaker of Parliament this week, Thomas Taiwa, praised the Christians of Chiyindi for embracing the national resistance movement's vision of development and prosperity. Taiwa made these remarks while addressing the Jubilee celebrations of Sacred Heart Seminary in Mubende District. Take a look.
Sacred Heart Seminary in Mubende District has celebrated 40 years of excellence. The Jubilee celebrations were presided over by Kinda Michana Bishop, Dr. Joseph Anthony Zwa.
Kituufu mu biseera bino amasomero mangi mu Uganda weewaawo balina emitendera. Naye tuleme kutwala nti amasomero gabeerewo gakolebwe kuweza muwendo buwendo. Nedda. Amasomero galeme kukolebwa nti omuntu omu oba babiri oba basatu balina ekigendererwa ekyabwe bo nga bo okwekkusa oba kufuna ssente. Nedda. Njagala amasomero okuba amalungi gabeeremu kigambo mu Lungereza nkozesa akagambo doors nze mu Luganda mukamanyi. Ebyenjigiriza mu masomero bibeeremu kadoozi ka seminaariyo mu by'engunjula.
Deputy Speaker of Parliament Thomas Taiwa attended the event and commended the Christians of Kinda Michana for their commitment to development and prosperity.
So, ekintu ekyebuli bwenguzi nti tulina kulaba nti twekubamu abannayuganda batuufu kutunyiiga nga gavumenti tena. Naye tukirizaganya ne President Museveni nti fena tugenda ku lutalo luno olw'okulwanyisa enguzi. Ate abajja kusinga kutuwulira yemwe kubanga lutalo lwakununulamu. Sente zetuba zamwe. Sente za kuombekera amasomero, za kukora amalwaliro, za kukora enguudo zamwe. So mulina kulaba nti muteeka ku pressure netada mu kukola ki? Kuteeka sente omukono.
The seminary, established in 1984 by Emeritus Cardinal Emmanuel Wamala, has played a significant role in shaping individuals and generations.
Abayise mu seminary eno twenyumiriza nnyo okubeera nti tuyise wano kubanga ffe tulitwala nga ssomero, tulitwala nga formation center, wooyigira byonna.
Members of Parliament, including Hope Kranya Nakaziwe, were also present at the event.
The 2024 general elections are already underway among the Rwandan communities living in the diaspora. By Saturday midnight, the first voter had cast her vote in New Zealand, which was the first country to go to polls due to its time zone. And by Sunday morning, different Rwandan embassies across the world were sharing via their social media handles how the election activities were unfolding. In Uganda, Rwandans living in the country equally went to the polls to cast their votes, and there are a total of 160 polling stations in different countries to allow the Rwandan diaspora to vote. Some countries like the US and Australia have multiple voting locations.
With a case where
Moving on from that, the Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Thomas Taiwa, has hailed long-enduring France-Uganda economic relations that have seen the number of companies in Uganda grow from 9 in 2010 to 40 companies as of today. He revealed this during the celebrations to mark France National Day, also known as France Bastille Day, at the French residence in Kampala District. Take a look.
Zero. Amidst the elegant backdrop of the French residence in Nakasero, Kampala, an atmosphere brimming with festivity and jubilation unfolded as hundreds gathered to commemorate France's National Day, also known as Bastille Day. Laughter echoed through the air, accompanied by the melodic strains of the UPDF band, creating a symphony that resonated with joy and merrymaking.
I'm pleased, therefore, Your Excellency, on behalf of the government and people of Uganda, to join you this evening to celebrate such a significant day the National Day of France.
The Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Thomas Tebwa, paid tribute to France's continued investment in Uganda's economic sector.
Noting the nexus between investment and trade, as a government, we welcome the recent launch on 4th July 2024 of the French Chamber of Commerce in Uganda, which aims to increase Uganda-French investment, trade and cooperation.
The remarks come at a time when French companies are currently employing at least 3,000 Ugandans, 30% of these being females.
French companies in Uganda, numbering over 40, such as Total Energies and Lafarge, are today reputed to employ around 3,000 Ugandans and directly contributing strongly to Uganda's revenue through taxation.
The France ambassador to Uganda, Xavier Stika, echoed that French companies will invest at least $4 billion in Uganda over the next 3 years in the areas of energy, value addition, electrical mobility, logistics, agriculture, among others.
Over the next 3 years, they plan to invest $4.1 billion US dollars, which is something like 16 trillion Ugandan shillings. France is also a partner of Uganda through the French Development Agency. AFD's portfolio of ongoing projects totals more than 800 million euros, or nearly 3.9 trillion Ugandan shillings, mainly in the water, energy and urban development sectors.
Bastille Day is a pivotal moment that marks a turning point in the French Revolution, signifying the ended absolute monarchy and the beginning of modern French Republic. It is celebrated every year on July 14th. Christmas, Aninitwe, UBC News.
The implementation of the Uganda-South Sudan Power Project, featuring a 382 kilometers, 400 kV Oluwa-Juba overhead transmission line, is scheduled to commence in early 2025. Now, the feasibility studies are currently in advanced stages.
The regional coordinator for the Nile Equatorial Lakes Subsidiary Action Program, Dr. Isaac Arikwe, has said the Uganda South Sudan Power Project is to cost between $2 to $3 million US with support from development partners.
This particular budget is distributed between the two countries. Uganda will be given a loan by the African Development Bank of $148 million US. South Sudan is going to be given a grant. One portion of the grant will come from the European Union, which is going to provide a grant of about 100 million. Then the African Development Bank is going to give a grant of about 59 million. Then there is a difference of 25 million, which the country must contribute as a sign of ownership to the project.
Power interconnection between countries offers significant economic benefits, such as sharing infrastructure to reduce redundancy and lower overall costs. Investment in large-scale power plants, transmission lines and other infrastructure can lead to economies of scale. This rationale underpins NELSAP's decision to implement the 400 kV power interconnection line between Uganda and South Sudan. Dr. Isaac Arikwe highlighted the numerous benefits the project will bring to both Uganda and South Sudan.
As you know, the electricity access in South Sudan is still at a very low level. The last time I checked, the access was at 7%, and this is the lowest in the region. So this transmission line connecting the two countries will help improve electrification, both urban and the rural. And this will contribute, of course, to economic, socio-economic development, including industrialization within the urban areas and even the rural areas of South Sudan. And towards the same, of course, now with industrialization, economic development, opening up more opportunities, job opportunities and business opportunities for the communities in South Sudan, and even the revenue for South Sudan itself. To Uganda, it would be an opportunity for them to offload the excess energy that they may not need for their local consumption. And of course, that will generate revenue for the Uganda Electricity Transmission Company Limited.
The power line will play a crucial role in the interconnectivity of networks, which is vital for strengthening the African power pool.
That is the Northern Africa Power Pool and the Eastern Africa Power Pool, Southern Africa Power Pool, even the Central Africa Power Pool. When you connect Ethiopia with South Sudan and you connect South Sudan with Uganda, you have already looped the East Africa Power Pool. And when you connect Sudan and Egypt to South Sudan and Ethiopia, you've looped it with the North Africa Power Pool. And when you connect this line through Uganda to Tanzania, and then Tanzania to Zambia, you have connected it also to the Southern Africa Power Pool. This is a very instrumental network that is going to loop. And when you connect the Uganda with Rwanda through Shango Mbarara, you have connected it to the Rusumo networks that is going up to Tanzania. And when you connect it as well with Chango Ngoma, you have connected to the Central Africa Power Pool.
The Regional Power Program Officer for NELSAP, Engineer Jacob Deng, emphasized the importance of the African Power Pool in transferring energy resources between countries to spur economic growth and development. Adian Nakuti, UBC.
Moving on from that, hundreds gathered at Kololo Independence Grounds for the 2024 Kampala Auto Show, displaying the best automotive components. Take a look.
Have made a heartfelt appeal at an exhibition urging the government to allow them to retain their old number plates. They urge that these number plates are crucial for preserving the dignity of vintage cars and boosting tourism in the country.
Over the years, there has been a change in registration number plates of cars in this country. So most of the people who have their vintage cars have nostalgia and emotional attachment to their number plates because the number plates communicate. And this is something that the Vintage Club has always kept on going back and forth with the Ministry of Works and Transport to try and give them a waiver to accept them to stay with these plates, because these number plates are just not registrations to them. To the vintage and classic people, this is an identity that says I have walked, I have run on the roads of this country for this number of years.
Semakula Eric from SOFMED highlighted the exhibition as an excellent opportunity to unveil their latest luxury and high-performance cars, expressing optimism about the market's response.
I bring authentic gym equipment, and also we have 5-star gyms in different parts of Kampala, and also we do import cars and their aftermarket parts, because some things in Uganda are not here, but for us we are able to bring them, and people don't know that they can even access them, but we bring them.
Patricia Nagawa of Local Automax stressed the significance of car repairs and refurbishments in enhancing the appearance and functionality of older vehicles.
We do facelifting of all cars, specifically Land Cruiser, Prado and Hilux. Buy a whole new car, you just have to come, we'll change it and give it the outlook of a more current year. For example, you'll have a car of 2008, 2010, and we give it an outlook of 2023.
Farid Kudra, the chairman of Cardok Army, detailed this year's exhibition, focusing on car branding, decoration and beautification, praising the event for fostering automotive craftsmanship and innovation.
We specialize in vehicle customization. We do not do modifications, but we do ultra-high replacement of parts.
Work on all kinds of cars, German cars, USDM cars, JDM cars, all types of cars, but we do not sell, we only customize an owner's vehicle.
The third edition of Uganda's Auto Show served as a pivotal platform for automotive fans and industry professionals to showcase innovations and advocate for policies supporting automotive heritage preservation. The lively atmosphere and diverse exhibits underscored the dynamic growth of the automotive industry in the region. Charity Marian Imnat and Jamil Sekaja, UBC News.
night.
Now, the implementation of the Uganda-South Sudan, of course, project we got to see, but later on in the bulletin, the Minister of Internal Affairs, Major General Kahindo Tafire, has encouraged the youth to lead the fight against corruption. Now, this call to action was made during the 29th graduation ceremony of Kampala International University, where over 2,000 students received degrees and diploma certificates.
The Minister of Internal Affairs, Major General Kahindo Tafire, has urged graduates to become leaders in the battle against corruption. Tafire was officiating the 29th graduation ceremony of Kampala International University, where over 2,000 students received degrees, diplomas and certificates.
Don't allow people to tell you we are stealing on your behalf. Leaders don't steal. We don't elect leaders to steal. Nobody, once we are told, should glorify corruption. Oh, that this person stole and shared with you. No. You still tell you share with us one, and then you say you fell on our behalf. Did we send you to steal? If you are in leadership, you have to be upright and accountable. Upright and accountable. Those of you in authority, stop confusing request, demand for accountability with hate speech. That's the digressing from democratic practice in leadership to rule by law. Our philosophy is rule of the law, not rule by law.
The event was attended by the chairman of the Board of Trustees, Alhaj Dr. Hassan Basajabalaba, who appealed to the government to support private institutions in Uganda.
So we are not scared of these doctors who are going to the world, that we have a doubt on them. I'm sure they'll do their best. So I request you, from admission up to graduation, make sure all the gaps which are there are closed.
The Vice Chancellor, Professor Muhammad Ngoma, praised the government for creating a conducive environment for education and encouraged the graduates to develop employability skills.
The focus mainly will be on the quality of learning, that is the quality of training, the quality of teaching, and the quality of the students, so that we make them employable. Then the other focus will be on increasing the research output, research in top-notch journals, but also research in terms of the training that we give to our students.
The graduates expressed their gratitude for reaching this significant milestone in their academic journey.
I took this initiative to inspire all my friends who believe that in my first course I did this, but the dream was to take on the other one. So I was here, life was not simple, but we studied, we did all that was supposed to be done. And I just want to inspire the rest that despite the challenges, there is always possibility of a victory if you believe in your God.
The great honor to the fountain of honor of this country, His Excellency the President, General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, for sponsoring me to acquire this course. I'm someone from a very poor background that I would not have achieved this if I would have had no person behind me. But the president, the first time I met the president in Kisosi, has never left me the same.
Winnie Ainembabazi Katwire, Bakabulindi Mike for UBC.
Women in the fishing industry from East Africa have been trained on the new innovations and processing of fish into a number of unique products to enhance productivity as a way of making their lives better. This was held at the Uganda National Women Fish Organization in Wakiso, where over 40 women attained skills on how to process fish into various products as a way of fighting malnutrition.
Minton Lake Victoria Fisheries Organization are equipping women with skills on making fish powder, fish sambusas, fish fillet, among other products, aimed at increasing productivity.
It won't pour out.
The director in charge of fishing development at Lake Victoria Fisheries Organization, Dr. Edward Lukunya, says that training is aimed at equipping women with hands-on skills in making fish-made products, as well as promoting fish innovations among women.
Multi-value addition among the East African value chain actors, and we've been able to train 32 value chain actors from the silverfish fishery, the Ndagala fishery from Lake Tanganyika, the Nile perch fishery, the tilapia fishery, and we have been able to develop quite a number of products hands-on, ranging from ready to eat and raw products that can be freezed and sold at a later time. But most important to say that this has been a hands-on training.
The president, Uganda National Women's Fishing Organization, Rovisa Kobusingi, has appealed to government to always engage stakeholders when enacting laws on fishing silverfish.
Mukene fishery have been affected because there was this change in the fisheries gear, which was enforced by the Minister of Fisheries, and this has affected our business so much because we cannot fish. We have to reinvest money to buy that new fishing gear, which is very expensive. We don't have experience on how to use it. So we are requesting that government should have dialogue with the private sector before they enforce laws that are going to affect people's jobs, affect people's malnutrition. Because now if there is no fish supply, there will not be eggs in the market because chicken have entirely been dependent.
She also affirmed that this kind of innovation will boost business opportunities for women, as well as fighting malnutrition among children.
How to add value to fish and how to make money out of a fish. And the fish is not only the fish from the lake, but we also tell them that fish can be farmed. So once you farm fish, this is how you should be able to make use of it, to have very various products. Mainly, the objectives of this training is to have better incomes in families, also to have better nutrition in homes, and to also have a contribution to the taxes of the economy.
A fish vendor from Kenya, Atieno, expressed gratitude for the training, citing its potential to improve economic well-being for women in East African countries.
I'm very grateful, and we have seen that as the East African community, we are working as a team to help us to be able to make sure that our fish is handled correctly to avoid post-harvesting spoilage, and we have been given enough information and all the techniques to be able to use to make sure that all our farmers can be able to have economic empowerment and can be able to make money from fish. We have been taught clearly that it's only fish that world over almost everybody is able to consume fish.
The training attracted women fishers from Uganda, Kenya and Tanzania, among other countries. Deborah Namamonde, Mike Bakabulindi, UBC News.
Let's come this side.
The National Drug Authority, NDA, has seized 151 boxes of drugs valued at 40 million Ugandan shillings in the Teso sub-region during a 4-day operation. The operation covered the districts of Serere, Kalachi and Bukede. Take a look.
The Regional Inspector of Drugs for the NDA, Dr. Musa Padey, has disclosed that some drug dealers in Teso sub-region were prescribing medications incorrectly to patients. He noted that the persistence of illegal drug outlets was still a challenge and urged the public to partner with the NDA in combating these issues. Some dealers were found selling drugs in poor conditions and in unsuitable premises.
The problem is quite big. It means that for every 10 outlets
out
there,
some 3
are
not meeting our requirements.
Are not meeting our requirements. A big challenge, and it has its unique challenges. Yeah, one of which is illegal outlets, besides others like hawking. The challenge is quite big, and you, the press people, should take out the information out there.
Dr. Padey appealed to the public to purchase medications only from licensed pharmacies and drug shops and to report any drug-related crimes.
Someone has been peeping each time the drugs are issued by a qualified person, or they went to a pharmacy or a clinic and they wrote for them 2x3 for Panadol. When they also go to that drug shop, they also write 2 times 3.
In a related development, the NDA apprehended Cyprian Simbwa in Kayunga district for possessing government-provided drugs including malaria medications, mosquito nets and HIV testing kits.
Found this individual, Cyprian Simbwa, in Kayunga, Chirokore zone, Wakiso district, with a number of medicines labeled Government of Uganda, not for sale. Medicines included anti-malarials, dewormers, mosquito nets, HIV testing kits, and a host of other lab reagents.
A group of suspects who have been conniving with several superintendents of different government health centers, collecting and piling government drugs and stores in a private residence.
The NDA Chief Regional Inspector James William Tamale warned individuals involved in stealing government drugs to cease their activities immediately, as they will face legal consequences.
With the other sister agencies to ensure that those who are on the run and those who've been enabling him in pilfering these government drugs are brought to book. And we continue to plead with the public to ensure that they share with us any information of people who are stealing medicines meant for use in public hospitals.
We hope that the local authorities start helping government to weed out some of these, very serious but petty-looking crimes. Because you saw on some of the books, even the guy is even keeping hospital books of several medical centers.
He called on the public to remain vigilant and report any instances of individuals or drug shops in possession of government drugs. Charity Marin Imnat and Among Salme, UBC News.
Moving on from that, a recent study conducted in 2020 to 2023 reveals that over 300 out of 5,000 people in Chamuliwa Town Council in Kalungu District have been diagnosed with diabetes. Now, this information was shared by Bernard Mpira, a research scientist with the Medical Research Council and the study coordinator during the commemoration of World Population Day held at the General Population Cohort, Chamuliwa Field Station.
Research Council has hosted a science cafe in Chamuliwa, Kalungu, bringing together various stakeholders, including the public, media representatives, and researchers, to discuss population dynamics. Attendees visited different facilities where the Medical Research Council operates across 26 villages in Chamuliwa. They also toured the Medical Council facility to understand the medical services provided to patients.
If you got the Ministry of Health, this information you write about and say the number of infections in Uganda is this, the number of infections in Uganda is this, is informed by the information we give them from here.
During the media engagement, Bernard Mpira urged the public to conduct regular checkups and screenings and to seek early medical attention.
We've known diabetes to be a disease that is always manifesting people that are overweight, that are obese, but the current trends within the GPC show us that even people who are of a normal body mass index are actually getting this disease condition. Secondly, we are seeing that diabetes used to be a disease that manifests mainly in people that are older in age, but we are finding trends of whereby people in the younger age groups are also getting this condition.
The research indicates that 85% of the population diagnosed with diabetes seek medication, while 15% believe they don't need medical attention.
The 15% are mainly the people that are still okay. They feel they don't have these conditions that would warrant them to come to hospital or that would warrant them to start on medications.
Dr. Joseph Mugisha, a clinical epidemiologist and the head of the GPC Chamaliba field station noted that new HIV infections are declining due to the availability of art clinics which provide antiviral drugs.
Of course, one of the reasons is that we don't have many people who are dying because of HIV. And in addition, we also have very few new cases of HIV. Because when the number of new cases is low, the number of people acquiring HIV is low, it means that the prevalence will also remain stable.
Regarding non-communicable diseases, specialized clinics operate on Tuesdays and Thursdays, receiving about 100 and 150 people per day with conditions such as hypertension and diabetes.
We are able to establish that the prevalence, for example, of diabetes is higher than we expected. We have also been able to establish that the people we thought would be having diabetes actually may not have it, because originally we thought that diabetes is in people who are fat, obese.
This year's World Population Day was commemorated under the theme Population Dynamics and Public Health, a Community Conservation. Crispus Arinitwe, Sulaka Gugube, UBC News.
Amanya gange nze Namtebi Sharon nga nkolera wano wennyini Saka Kirombe oba Makindye. Empangula gye nawanguddemu ssente mbadde nga nkozesa mobile money nga nsindika school fees w'omwana ku ssomero. Okutegeera nti mpangudde, nze mutima neegambye nti kambalinde bamale okujja ndyoke nzikirize nti mpangudde. Kyennyinza okubagamba nti si byabafere, weewaawo abafere gye bali, naye ennamba eri emu yokka era bw'eba ekukubidde omanya eyo si yabafere. Mpulira bulungi nnyo 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 era ndi musanyufu nnyo. Naye MTN mobile money mbebaza nnyo, mwebale nnyo, mwebalire.
Together we're unstoppable.
Predict the outcome of 10 football games and win big with tickets at only 500 shillings. Play for this Monday's draw to stand a chance to win big with Sports Take 10.
Buy your tickets at authorized shops on nationallottery.go.ug to download the app or simply dial *278#. Ugandan National Lottery. Dream, play, win. Participants must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The Uganda National Lottery is operated by Ituba Uganda and regulated by the National Lotteries and Gaming Regulatory Board.
Welcome back from that short commercial break. In the course of the week, we had business news and, of course, hundreds of people gathered at Kololo Independence Grounds for the 2024 Kampala Auto Show, displaying the best automotive components, as you're about to witness by Eman Gaba.
Drifting of cars, showcasing the latest innovations in the automobile industry, is what took place at Kololo Independence Grounds at the Kampala Auto Show 2024. 1990s models to the recent innovations, both cars and motorcycles were vividly displayed. For the revelers, it was a fun-filled day. Nationwide market players, all displaying automotive items, passionate enthusiasts, all enjoying every detail that the auto show has to offer. Classic vintage cars and custom-built projects, the auto show lived to its best. And how do vehicles stand out without clear print for color? Plascon Paints, with its automobile paint, partnered with the Kampala Auto Show for a cause, bring back the color of automotives.
As Plascon, we are part of Kansai Paint Group, a top 10 global paint company in the world, and more importantly, a company that's a world leader in automotive paints. So we make paints for brand new cars, we make paint for auto refinishes. So whether you're getting your car off the line in Japan or in Germany or wherever, or retouching up your car, we have a product for you. But more importantly, it's also a good opportunity for us to interact with people that are very, very passionate about cars, about bikes, and everything to do with automobiles. So today we've been showing Ugandans an opportunity, giving Ugandans an opportunity to see the procedures taken when spraying a car, the procedures taken when refurbishing your vehicle, and showing them that if you use the right products, if you use the right undercoats, the right body fillers, the right top coats, and the right clear coats, your car is going to look as good and as beautiful as the manufacturer has intended it to be, or as you prefer it to be. It is also very possible that if you use any paint out there on the market without checking the quality, checking the parameters set for your vehicle, you will find yourself having a very, very shoddy or substandard finish for your car. We encourage Ugandans to continuously demand, don't just ask, demand for genuine products for your car. When you go to your car mechanic, to your spray painter to repair your car, insist on using genuine products. And these come from Plascon, and we're very proud that today we're able to show many Ugandans some of those products, the color mixing process, the coating process, and the entire chain of products that you need to get your car looking the right way.
A conversation with the best mechanics in the land, strategizing on options for each machine, was equally observed. The Kampala Auto Show is an annual event uniting automotive players at the same venue in the eco-friendly atmosphere. Mashomiro Victor and Amon Gabo reporting for UBC News.
The Ministry of Energy and partners are intensifying efforts to promote the transition to clean cooking foams. This initiative prioritizes women and girls, aiming to protect them from the dangers associated with traditional and healthy cooking practices.
Over 2.3 billion people globally rely on fuels like wood, charcoal, coal and kerosene to cook food, despite the dangers associated with these forms of energy. Similar to other sub-Saharan countries, Uganda is grappling with deforestation due to the increasing demand for charcoal and firewood for cooking in urban areas and villages.
And the target is that by 2030, we will at least want to have each and every Ugandan with a clean cooking solution. No more using heavy reliance on charcoal. We want to see people using electricity, ethanol, and all those other solutions for their better empowerment. But it's also a business. You know, you can make money from selling these solutions. So we want to see how these women can work together.
Lack of access to clean cooking solutions disproportionately impacts the health, education, employment, and overall well-being of women and girls. It is against this backdrop that women from all walks of life across the country and beyond are gathered here for this high-level cooking workshop.
As I had mentioned, we have 135 districts that are represented among these ladies. And these ladies are talking about how they can advance cooking. But also, you know, because when people talk about ladies, they think, if it's a women's event, they think it's all about ladies. Among the things that we're also discussing is how can we bring the men on board to understand this?
But when we embrace this clean cooking, we're going to remain healthy and live longer. This cleaning cooking technologies are very affordable. It's all about changing the mindset. It starts with us.
The desire of this meeting, organized by the Ministry of Energy and its partners, is to influence a transition to clean cooking methods in Uganda.
It's like a powerful space. I'm really excited and optimistic about the future for clean cooking. And my message is that if someone from Kisenyi, who is already challenged, whose income is very limited, can buy a clean cooking product and use it and experience the benefits, what is your excuse? What is my excuse?
When you look at most of those fuels and technologies, the government has been deliberate. They are tax-free. So LPG, for instance, Ugandans don't pay VAT on LPG. Ugandans don't pay any tax on ethanol for cooking. So the ethanol for cooking is zero rated, like we say. Biogas materials are tax-free. So the incentives, very important.
With clean cooking technologies, the women can eliminate the exposure to indoor household air pollution, cut down on cooking time, reduce forest degradation, and leverage the time saved to engage in productive economic activities, among other benefits. Dennis Igor for UBC News.
From the international desk, the man suspected of shooting at former U.S. President Donald Trump has been named by the FBI as Thomas Matthew Crooks. He was 20 years old and from Bethel Park, Pennsylvania,
Donald Trump
said in a statement. Trump was shot at during a rally in Pennsylvania with Secret Service agents swarming the former president after a series of gunshots. He was quickly bundled off stage and into an awaiting vehicle and has since returned home to New Jersey.
Donald Trump, in a social media posting hours after he was slightly wounded, said a bullet pierced the upper part of his right ear as he stood on a stage addressing supporters in Butler, Pennsylvania. The former president, seeking to return to the White House, said he knew immediately something was wrong as he heard a whizzing sound and felt the bullet ripping through the skin. The Secret Service, whose agents surrounded Trump and rushed him off the stage, says the attempted assassin, who fired multiple shots from an elevated position outside of the rally venue, was shot and killed by its personnel. It confirms one spectator was killed and 2 others were critically injured. President Joe Biden says together the nation must condemn what happened.
The idea that there's political violence or violence in America like this is just unheard of. It's just not appropriate.
3 former U.S. presidents, George W. Bush, Bill Clinton, and Barack Obama, as well as numerous world leaders, also condemned the attack and expressed relief that Trump was not seriously hurt. Steve Herman, VOA News, Washington.
Some Kenyans applaud President William Ruto for sacking majority of his cabinet in a bid to cut government spending and also address the concerns raised by the youth-led protesters who took part on the streets of the East African nation to demand better governance. Take a look.
The best, and it was very appropriate and very timely because indeed if you look at the budget for 2024-2025, it had a lot of expenditures, which out of it, almost 80% was salaries, which I think by dissolving that cabinet, he did the best thing that was supposed to of him.
I just want to congratulate President Ruto for what he did, but even though he dissolved the cabinet, which is okay, but we still expect more. Because we have seen that he left the prime cabinet, which is unconstitutional. So I expected that to be done wholly. So if he just wanted to do away with these people, then he was supposed to clear up everything and start afresh.
What he did for a start is a good thing. Yes, we wish there can be more measures now that they have gone home. If they can take some measures to retrieve whatever was lost in terms of corruptions, budgeted corruptions, lost money, it can be a good start. But that's the bare minimum. It wasn't the end.
What Kenyans want now, at the moment, we need to get rid of corruption in cabinet. So he has started well because we wanted to select some who can do the job right at the moment, because we want the job to be done right. And if we do the budget, we know the budget is budgeted not on corruption purposes, but on delivering services to Kenyans. That is all.
From what we are seeing, there's no turning back. There's no turning back until we put our leaders back to track, and some of us want new faces. Because some faces tumekuwa tukiziona, we've been seeing them since we were born until now. Let there be new faces, let there be changes, let there be something new in Kenya.
And from the sports desk, Uganda Secondary School Sports Association Vice President, President Haji Twahahi Chitezala says 5,388 participants have turned up to take part in USSSA National Ball Games, the second 2024. This was during a National Balls Games opening and 100 meters competition held at Soroti Sports Ground, urged schools not to use non-bona-fide players during the tournaments and the game competitions. The Minister of State for Education and Sports, Peter Ogwang, was in attendance.
Boys, giving a total of 5,338 participants.
If you use a non-bona-fide player and we don't arrest you, run and thank God that you are still okay. Never come back and petition that you are using a non-bona-fide player, you should be forgiven. So in the case you meet Justice and his committee and they tell you you have now used the non-bona-fide player, go and check yourself. Even don't appeal to commission. I will be ready to welcome you, but I don't have good news for you. If you think you are going to use mothers and fathers to kick these young ones, please forget about it.
I want to thank government and the ministry working with the fraternity of the organizers for the choice of Soroti City, and in this case, the Sokole, to host this national special event. Thank you very much.
Greta Ngoma, known for pastoralism, was united sports with a talent identification strategy sponsored by Professor Hewa Wilbur. 12 teams will compete for 2 months.
Hundreds gathered at the Ngoma playgrounds for the national competitions that united natives through sports. Divided into 12 teams, the games took center stage competing in football men and netball women. The opener had Abazimbi Football Club compete against Abalunzi, with both teams failing to see the back of the net. The netballers of Abakatare won Nances with 46 points. Professor Ahewa Wilbur Manyisa, the founder of the tournament, highlighted how the 2-month tournament is geared at identifying talent. The games will continue running before the finals on the 29th of September, where the winners will walk away with cash prizes, 2 bulls, and 2 trophies for both men and women. Ngoma Town Council in Nakaseke district is well known for its pastoralism, and the introduction of games and sports is a unifying factor. Charity Nahabwe, UBC News, Nakaseke.
Thank you so much for watching the UBC Weekly News Roundup with me, Sharon Kyomugisha. Have a lovely afternoon, and you can as well join me today later on at 8 p.m. and 10 p.m. for more news coming to you in English. Bye-bye. Good afternoon.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
against the recent Sifan Crusades? Don't worry!